Ahoy there, mates! All aboard! Financial freedom awaits. MyTrade proudly presents the Navigator, the newest, easiest, and brightest fundamental tool from MyTrade's renowned research team. Be guided in your investing voyage. Get the best stock picks, sound long-term strategies, and valuable information about the companies that you're buying. Follow the light. The Navigator. Better your tomorrow. Ahoy there, mates! All aboard! Financial freedom awaits. MyTrade proudly presents the Navigator, the newest, easiest, and brightest fundamental tool from MyTrade's renowned research team. Be guided in your investing voyage. Get the best stock picks, sound long-term strategies, and valuable information about the companies that you're buying. Follow the light. The Navigator. Better your tomorrow.
Abacus started about 26 years ago. There was one vision when I started Abacus, to provide value to customers, to be the first Filipino brokerage that will provide research-based recommendation. Because at that time when I started this business in 1992, most of the brokers were fairly small, family-owned, and very few actually hired full-time research people. Abacus was the first. The thing I'm most proud about is we have a very strong research team, one of the best you can find. People whose dedication to the business and whose passion for the business. We launched MyTrade to provide customer, number one, convenience. Number two, information. You need to know what's happening in the market, and we want to provide them access to market data, everything that they normally will need to go to the newspaper or to the website to study, all very handy, very portable, and very easy. And with increasing mobile internet speed in the market, this has become almost part of everyone's life.
We have a very versatile platform. If you are someone who's basic, you're not a techie person, you have to put the MyTrade mobile app on your phones because you can see there the basic ones, how to trade, the stocks, the gainers, the losers. You can see your portfolio, and you can even log in 5 seconds if you have a good ISP by using your fingerprint. We invest so much with platforms and technology because we know that it's an ongoing development, and we value innovation and also customer service.
One important milestone for Abacus is the launch of our online trading platform, MyTrade. Historically, Abacus has been very strong in the institutional and high net worth retail stock brokerage business. And launching MyTrade is our way of reaching and sharing our expertise to the smaller retail investors.
I think we analyze just a little bit better. I think there are angles that we look at that give us insight into companies a little bit better. And then sometimes there's a lot of information in the market, and most of the time people tend to look at those pieces of information just one at a time. But our strength is that we are able to piece together all these bits of information into a cohesive investment idea. And I think that's probably our biggest strength. We like to make money, not for ourselves, but for our clients. We make investment recommendations to clients. First thing is new investors should do their own research, because it's not enough to listen to research analysts, or some would be called market gurus. It's not enough to listen to those types of people. It's really important for someone new to the market to do their own research, because you'd be more comfortable about your investment making decisions. Second, it's important not to think of investing in the market as getting rich, but rather it being a process that weaves into your entire personal life. So it's not just about making money. It's really, as we say, investment is really a lifestyle choice. Third tip, just remember it takes time. There is a very steep learning curve when it comes to investing, and you shouldn't be discouraged if you lose money on some trades, because it's just part of the process.
I chose MyTrade because it is complete. So whenever I want to execute a trade, first I would take a look at good fundamentals and whether it's the right time on the technical side. On the fundamentals, we have an experienced research team, and for the technical side, the MyTrade platform provides a lot of tools. These tools really help me in my decision whether when to enter the trade or not. I've had several unfortunate experiences with other brokers. First, I could start with the customer service. Sometimes even, I just want to order an odd lot. I have to email or have to look through the facts. In MyTrade, I would just press the icon below, and there's a live chat for the customer service, so the experience is really great. Some brokers would also have downtimes during market hours, so this is important for me to execute my trades, and being down is an opportunity loss for me, and for me that's a big deal in trading.
You don't need a rocket science-based system to make money. What you need is a sound mind that says, I like this stock, fundamentally it makes sense, and technically it is sound to go buy at this level or take my profit and things like that. And that's what we provide. We provide you more than just a computer system. We want to provide you with a group of people who are strong in research and who are strong in fundamentals and technicals. The whole purpose is to provide you with system, with value advice, with great customer service.
For Generation Z members who are actually new to investing, I really think that MyTrade provides a really friendly platform for those who are beginning because it's really neat. I really think that MyTrade provides exemplary service in terms of providing research and the like.
One of the reasons why I opened an account with MyTrade is because kay Sir Nicky, I really like yung mga market reports niya. Nakita ko rin naman yung increase ng prices ng mga ni-recommend niya. After nakita ko yon, all the more follow yung mga recommendation niya. Ikaw na naman, naging positive naman yung account ko. I'm still in the middle of my journey on how to trade stocks. I was really impressed the growth ng portfolio ko, and highly recommend that you guys might want to also let Abacus manage your money.
I chose MyTrade simply because they have an app. And as a person who is so into technology and apps as well, I find it convenient. It's just within my pocket and I can just like check how my stocks are. Plus, the easy part is that you can also deposit money and trade and buy as it is. When I transferred from the previous, the former one that I've been using, now I get to see my stocks better because again, it's just an app. It may not be as big as others may have under their stocks. At least this one I have more visual reference on how it is, so it will motivate you to add more or to buy, to trade. So there's more action to it rather than it's just in a dashboard.
I started investing in stocks because I wanted to diversify. My money is either in the bank or in life insurance companies. Being a mother of two, I wanted to have my money more secured and I wanted faster returns. So a friend of mine convinced me to try the stocks. I will encourage others to try MyTrade because it's an easier way of investing, your money secured, and it's very convenient.
Good afternoon, Winkers, and welcome back to another episode of What Investors Needs to Know. Ilang tulog na lang, Pasko na. Everyone is hopeful because hindi lang spirit of Christmas ang nararamdaman natin ngayon. We also feel na malapit nang matapos ang pandemic. Ramdam niyo ba yun? I mean, parami ng parami yung nababakunahan, establishments are reopening, quarantine restrictions are easing, and we're starting to see children outside, and most of all, market is recovering. At kanina lang, we were told na babalik na yung time ng PSE from 9 to 3 starting December 6 2021. Ano yung thoughts nyo doon? Can you tell me, is it a yay or a nay? Sige nga, sabihin nyo. And please tell your friends that that Wink is here and we are gonna talk about the latest IPO, which is Medilines. Let us know. Are you in favor? Are you bullish or bearish in the fact that trading hours will go back to 9 to 3 p.m. na whole day na? Tell us, is it a yay or a nay? And we will, sabi ni Marilu, it's a cry. Bakit? I think yung mga OFWs who belong to the time zone like UAE, London, it will be a plus for them. Yan. So tell us, so is it a yay or nay? Ronald is a nay. Sige, we are so curious kung ano ba ang take ng traders or investors in the recent announcement of PSE. Are you in favor, or you think this is something that, that market is a signal that market is recovering as mentioned a while ago? But of course, we still need to follow health protocols and to make sure na hindi ulit dadami ang cases. So if you have kids and you want them to go outside, make sure that you follow the protocols, okay? And napakahirap pa naman if naalala nyo ba yung kasagsagan ng COVID-19 na lalo na sa atin dito sa Pilipinas na puno lahat ng hospital. So let us not be complacent. We don't want to go back to that, di ba? And by the way, I'm talking about the hospitals, major hospitals in Metro Manila. Paano na lang yung mga maliliit na ospital sa probinsya? Napakarami kong naririnig na kulang na lang sa hospital beds, walang gamit pang x-ray, kulang yung PPEs, walang oxygen. Nalulungkot isipin na health is wealth. Pero ang daming hindi nakasurvive sa COVID dahil sa substandard o wala talagang totally gamit yung ospital. This is why I'm very excited to know more about our guest company today. Most of you probably know already that Medilines Distributors Incorporated will have its IPO in the Philippine Stock Exchange. Coming from a global health crisis, companies like this are considered essential. But question is, will its stock perform well in the market? What are their plans? And how big is the company? Why does it need to raise more funds? Those are the questions that we will answer later on, and we're going to find that out in just a few minutes. In the meantime, kindly grant StreamYard permission to see your name, so when we flash the questions of yours on screen, we will be able to address you by your name. Just get the link in the caption to register. All right, so later we'll have a Q&A with the panelists, including their chairman. Ayan, sabi ni Judy, nay, current trading time is fine with me. Got to use with it already. And so tell us your insights and we will share it with the audience later on. So speaking of comments, tell us, where are you watching us from? Kagaya ng, ayan, yes, hello from California, Norman Aglupos Orillaneda. All right, so I'm really excited. Let's get to know Medilines. Again, welcome everyone to MyTrade Wink. What investors needs to know about Medilines. So here's the introduction for our guest today.
Margarita D. Villarico, CFO and Treasurer. joined Medilines as head of finance in 2004. Prior to joining the company, she held positions in finance and accounting for 16 years with manufacturing and export companies, which include Jordac Philippines, Mag Sportswear, Sagara Metro Plastics Incorporated, Asia Medica Incorporated, and Moda Manila Incorporated. Mrs. Villarico graduated from Far Eastern University with a degree in Bachelor of Science in Commerce major in accounting. Patricia V. Yambe, Director, President and CEO, is a graduate of Ateneo de Manila University with a degree in Bachelor of Science in Management in 2004. She took her double degree Asia MBA program in National University of Singapore and in Fudan University in Shanghai from 2013 to 2015. She became the business unit head of Asia Medica Incorporated from 2015 to 2020 before joining Medilines as president and CEO. She is also the general manager in Asia Medica Incorporated and is a director in both Tumon Incorporated and RightEdge Incorporated. She held marketing positions in various multinational companies, including Microsoft, Kimberly-Clark, and Sara Lee. Virgilio B. Villar, chairman of the board, took over management of Medilines in 2008 and successfully managed it over the years to become one of the top distributors of medical devices in the Philippines. He was president and CEO of Medilines from 2008 to 2020. Currently, Mr. Villar is also president of Asia Medica Incorporated, RightEdge Incorporated, and Tuan Incorporated. Pivotal to his success in the medical industry was his 21 years of experience as managing director of Bebron Medical Supplies Incorporated, a German multinational healthcare company in the Philippines. Before moving to the medical devices and equipment industry, Mr. Villar held sales and marketing positions in various multinational companies, including Unilever and Scott Paper Philippines. Mr. Villar graduated from the University of the Philippines with a degree in Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering and a degree of Masters of Business Administration. He also took advanced management studies in Cologne, Germany.
All right, so let me welcome on stage with me today, uh, Miss Margie and Miss Pat Yambing. Hi, Pat. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Miss Margie.
Good afternoon.
All right. Are you excited?
Good
I think
afternoon.
this is the first. Hi. This is the first company that will be listed under this under your management. Is that correct? All right. So I'll give you the floor, and we'll just have to share the for the meantime while we're waiting for the file to be ready. I just wanna ask, are you also guys trading the stock market? I mean, are you also into stock market investing? What
Miss Marge.
Miss Mark?
Ako
No.
meron konti, syempre. Meron akong konti sa stock market.
Yeah. So at least our ayan, nakita ko na yung mga audience namin kasi we have started to be in trading hours of 9 to 1 o'clock since the pandemic, March 2020. And maraming, it's a no, parang torn yung investors. We've seen that there are people who are really not into the whole day thing. Kasi nga naman, tendency of people to overtrade and stuff like that. And I think sila na-set na nila yung mood. Like when you have this routine, 'di ba? When you have a particular routine na sa market, I mean in day to day, alam mo na yung dapat na ginagawa mo, but then parang na mababago na naman 'yon because I think, or do you believe that the the normal is gonna go back na. Miss Margie, are you, what do you think?
Yeah, oo,
Nafe-feel mo na rin
yeah,
ba?
sana. Sana soon. Balik na totally.
Yeah. Are you also confident na sa pagpapalabas sa mga bata? I guess, Pat, do you have a kid? Looks, a little, yeah?
Nakita mo ba yung crib sa
Oo.
likod ko?
Ano, a while ago you mentioned, I remember.
Yes,
So,
I have a 10-month-old. So, because batang-bata pa talaga siya, medyo scary pa, no, na palabasin talaga. So, hanggang bahay muna kami ngayon.
yeah, because I have a niece also, like for 2 years talagang hindi pa niya na-experience magpunta ng mall outside, and sila talaga yung ano parang sakop nila yung pandemic era. Yung so
Oo nga.
we are also hoping that things will turn into
But cases
normal
are
na.
decreasing because we see a lot of the malls and public spaces, especially pag weekends, puno na rin talaga sila eh. I,
Yeah, yeah.
I guess medyo nasanay na rin yung mga tao at saka alam na nila yung gagawin, di ba? Dapat
Mm-mm.
naman, basta may distancing, may social distancing, meron kang mask. Kung hindi ka comfortable na mask lang, sige, mag-face shield ka pa rin, di ba? Yung mga, alam na nila yung mas knowledgeable na sila.
I
So
agree.
hopefully that will really help propel the economy to move forward kasi ang tagal naman ng ano na
That's
nag-wait
right.
tayo for 2 years.
Yeah, and pretty much siguro nami-miss nyo ng mag-travel. I Here you go. So here's the floor. I'll leave you two for your presentation, and later on we will do our Q&A.
Okay, so I guess we'll start. Good afternoon, everybody. Um, my name is Pat. I am the CEO of Medilines, and with me is our CFO, Marge, and we will tell you all about our company and, of course, our upcoming IPO. Thank you for giving us the time to present to you. So I'll just go right ahead and tell you the snapshot of our company. So Medilines is an essential business. We distribute critical medical equipment to public and private healthcare facilities across the Philippines. These are products, and we will be a little bit technical, no? Like linear accelerators, that's what you use for cancer treatment. Dialysis machines for treatment of kidney diseases, and imaging machines such as CT scans, X rays, and MRIs from world leading brands such as B. Brown, Siemens Healthineers, and Varian. We are focused on three categories, and you will see these three categories in your upper right: diagnostic imaging, dialysis, and cancer therapy. Categories that we carefully selected over years of experience to ensure that they will yield sustainable growth for us over the long term. And as you can see here, out of 2 out of 3 categories, Medilines is the dominant distributor. Moving to the lower left of the slide, we have likewise demonstrated a track record of profitability. So you can see here that from 2018 to 2020, our top line grew with a healthy CAGR of 11.9%, owing to the resilient demand for our products, whether there is a pandemic or not. Moving into 2021, our sales in the first half jumped to 815 million pesos, which is 281% compared to the first half of 2020, amounting to 214 million pesos. Net income during the first half of 2021 was at 100 million pesos and almost equivalent to 100% of the net income posted for the full year of 2020. And then finally, in the lower right of the slide, you will see that our operating environment continues to be favorable. An emphasis on the importance of healthcare is driving a prioritization of long term investments in improving our healthcare facilities. You can see that the growth of the overall industry, as measured here by total healthcare expenditure, is poised to accelerate to 11.2% from 2021 to 2025. As stated, The healthcare industry has been growing, and the underlying reason is the increasing population and the increasing number of the elderly. Moving on to the next slide, you will see that we have crafted our portfolio with the patients in mind. The slide after this already, I think. Yes, we have crafted our portfolio with the patients in mind. In this table, where you can find the most prevalent diseases among Filipinos, you will see that our products are used either in the diagnosis or treatment or practically each one. More hospitals have sprung up, while some have expanded to cater to the consequent demand. This is matched by higher expenditures in hospitals, as you can see in the next slide. The main driver for this would be the increased focus of the government in providing healthcare services to Filipinos. The examples of these programs would be the 2019 Universal Healthcare Law that pushes PhilHealth coverage to 100% of the population. Another program would be the National Cancer Prevention and Control Action Plan, which is set to upgrade 24 hospitals across the Philippines into regional centers for cancer. These investments translate to further growth for medical equipment in particular. Medical equipment is the sub-industry that Medilines plays in. It is expected to continue growing at a very healthy rate of 11.7% to become an 82.7 billion market by 2025. And Medilines is well positioned to capture this growth. As stated, we are the leading distributor for cancer therapy equipment, accounting for 90.4% of the market. Likewise, we also account for over 50% of the sale of dialysis equipment. And finally, for diagnostic imaging, we have about 18% of the market of X-rays and CT scans. Medilines has a broad portfolio of core critical medical equipment to address the need of both public and private facilities in the Philippines. We have talked about how we selected our three categories based upon the most pressing need of patients. This is supported by the expected growth rates of these categories. Cancer therapy, which accounted for about 60% of our revenue so far in 2021, is expected to grow with a CAGR of 18.8%, which is way above the medical equipment market as a whole. The same is true for dialysis machines, which comprises 21% of our sales. Dialysis would also grow by 18%. Meanwhile, our diagnostic imaging products, which contributes about 16%, would grow in line with the wider market at 11%. So if we can move to the next slide, I think you will see there. There, you can see in the second row, the growth rate of the market. And below that, the contribution of this particular category to our sales. So you can see that all of our categories are growing. And some of our categories are even growing way above the market as a whole. In the next slide, you will see that Medilines has strong sales and marketing capabilities with long-standing relationships with key accounts in both private and public sectors. We have a solid track record of executing big-ticket projects. While principals do not exactly like the bureaucratic process, it becomes a barrier to entry to new players that benefits us, established players. So the illustration that you see on your left will show you the legal requirements for public tenders. This involves the know-how of the necessary documentary requirements, an assessment of the bidder's financial capacity, a demonstration of your capability to take on big ticket projects, that is through the single largest completed contract, and finally, a demonstration of your specialized knowledge for the particular project via your track record, or what they call your list of similar completed projects. So just based on eligibility, the amount of competition that we have gets fewer and fewer, and this does not even cover yet pricing and technical specification strategies. Continuing on, distribution is also very much relationship based, especially for non centralized purchasing. You have to be where your customers are and develop trust, something that Mr. Villar and Medilines have been fostering for over 20, 30 years. In this slide, you will see our strategic partners. We have strategic partnerships with principals that are market leaders in their respective categories. So, number one, Medilines has nationwide authorized distributorship of Siemens Healthineers for their imaging and advanced therapy devices. Siemens Healthineers is a German based medical technology company, and it is a recognized world market leader and manufacturer with a 120-year history and almost 19,000 patents globally. Our company has also been a distributor of B. Brown for almost 20 years for their dialysis equipment and supplies. B. Brown is a 182-year-old German multinational. And finally, our third principal is Varian, whose partnership with us was formalized through Siemens. It is an American company with over 70 years of experience in pioneering advanced cancer fighting tools. So, our distribution capabilities match their manufacturing expertise, allowing their brands to dominate the Philippine market as well. Next, we have an established operational expertise in the implementation of highly specialized and high value medical equipment projects. As mentioned, principals can sell directly to customers. They can sell via their regional office, or if they have one, their local office in the Philippines. However, they tap distributors like us for about 40% of total sales historically to serve accounts that they are unable to. Distributors like us, in turn, mediate the sale to public and private healthcare facilities. And in cases where it would be more efficient for us to do so, Medilines also taps third party logistics providers and sub dealers, especially for far flung areas. Our years of experience in the logistics side of medical equipment has enabled Medilines to be present in all regions of the Philippines except for BARM and Mimaropa. That being said, our business is more than just transporting one product off the shelf and to the customer. For one, majority of our products are highly specialized, high value with state-of-the-art technology. As you can see here in your upper left, that is a linear accelerator. But that's just the machine. It doesn't include yet the whole infrastructure, the room surrounding it. That machine sells for around 150 to 180,000 pesos, million pesos. 150 to 180 million pesos. It takes expertise to be able to market these, explain their benefits to end users, and modify the machine's technical specifications according to varying customer needs. So, on one hand, we sell products, but on the other hand, we also deal with projects. Projects would mean that the requirement of the customer would not only consist of the equipment itself, but also of infrastructure, accessories, and other third party items needed to be able to run the machine more smoothly. Oftentimes, the company needs to procure all of this elsewhere. The installation process, especially for projects, could take up to 6 months, as we will need to prepare the room at the facility and modify it based on international standards. So, again, in the same example for this linear accelerator, because this machine deals with radiation, we need to shield the walls, the ceiling, the floor, either with metal or concrete that's really thick, in order to ensure that radiation will not leak. And in the past 3 years, Medilines has practically the monopoly of experience among distributors in this regard. As complex as it is, We have fine-tuned our operations to control costs effectively. We directly transport the main equipment from the principal to the customer, thereby saving on storage costs. The other requirements under the contract as part of package, which normally consist of machine accessories, consumables, other third-party items, these are stored in our warehouse, which is strategically located near our principals. So from making the sale to the installation, our highly trained field personnel will ensure that every project is up to standard, increasing customer satisfaction and loyalty. Medilines as a founder-led management team with extensive knowledge of the Philippine healthcare industry. So here you see our team. We have well-rounded experiences in relationship building, marketing, and cost control, primary determinants of success in our industry. And of course, we are guided by Mr. Villar with over 3 decades of experience in the medical equipment industry. He provides the company unparalleled insights vis-a-vis the competition. So as we execute our next strategies for growth, our management team is undoubtedly capable in executing them. So let me give the floor now to Ms. Marge, our CFO, who will discuss Mediline's track record of profitability.
Thank you, Pat, and good afternoon to everyone. In this section, I will provide you a snapshot of our company's track record of growth and profitability. Medilines has demonstrated steady growth over the years. Our revenues recorded a CAGR of 11.9% from 2018 to reach almost 1.5 billion pesos in 2020 on the back of a steady growth of our sales volume. While there were initial logistical difficulties in early 2020, which translated to lower sales during the period, we managed to make up for it in the second half and still grow the top line on the back of a resilient demand. Demand has only strengthened since then, and we were able to cater to the larger requirements of healthcare facilities in 2021 as our revenues hit 815 million, setting us on track to reach our targets for the year. For our gross profit, margins play around 17% depending on the sales mix, as what we sell on an annual basis are relatively few in number but are high-value products. Notably, our margin for the first half of 2021 broke past the 20% level owing to the strong growth in our consumables business, which are high-margin products. This translates to a strong cash generation capability. Our EBITDA grew from 138 million in 2018 to 189 million in 2020, which is equivalent to 17.2% in CAGR. Our EBITDA margin for the first half of 2021 also jumped to about 20%, resulting in an EBITDA of 159 million. Our net income rose at a rate of 16% in the last 3 fiscal years. While we were in the red in the first semester of 2020, as we were temporarily unable to deliver, we quickly rebounded to close the year with a profit of 103 million. As of June 30, 2021, our net income is at 100 million, which is almost 100% of what we earned for the full year 2020. I now turn you back to Pat for a discussion of the use of proceeds for the IPO.
Thank you, Marge. So in the next slide, you will see that the sale of the primary shares for the IPO will provide the company an estimated 1.3 billion pesos. Our priority for the proceeds is to deploy 541.5 million pesos for our working capital requirements. Specifically, we intend to use this to grow our high margin medical consumables business as we focus on growing our bottom line. The balance of what we will be able to raise would be used to pay off up to 743.1 million pesos of our interest-bearing loans. Aside from reducing our financing cost, this will strengthen our financial position, which we could leverage as we await for more upcoming big-ticket projects to bid for. And of course, wherever strategic, we will make use of the various credit lines that we maintain with our partner banks in order to supplement this capital base. One of the most crucial aspects in our field is our ability to finance the cost of money, especially in fulfilling projects that require big capital investments and where collections could stretch over a 6-month period. It is relatively a long cycle, but this is well within Mediline's expertise. It serves as a barrier to entry for competitors. The IPO will further strengthen our position to create value by serving more equipment and project requirements as the country continues with its push for healthcare as a national priority. For the succeeding slides, let me discuss our 5 growth strategies. So in the next slide, you will see our first growth strategy is that we will continue to join big ticket projects in both public and private hospitals and capitalize on our eligibility, our know-how, and our track record in the government bidding process. Secondly, we will further expand our customer base in fast-growing, underpenetrated market across the Philippines as new hospitals are projected to rapidly grow. Number 3, we will continue to streamline our logistics systems by investing in technologies, infrastructure, and other systems that will enhance our operational efficiency. So what you can see here on your right side is our warehouse that is currently under construction. Once operational, this shall mainly serve our consumables business, our growth focus. In the next slide, you will see that our existing customers are already a captive market of our consumables because these consumables are necessary to be able to operate the medical equipment that we have already sold to them. This is even more so for some of these consumables are machine specific. This will further improve our margins as according to Ken Research Industry Report, medical consumables have the highest distributor gross margins among all the medical device segments at 40 to 50%. And then finally, our 5th strategy is to venture into other high profit healthcare categories in the long term, outside of our 3 core categories. This is to capitalize on the projected growth in the overall medical device market of 10.7% in the next 5 years, the fastest growing segment amongst all the segments in the healthcare industry. So this provides us further opportunities for expansion in the long term. So to summarize, Medilines is the leading player in our core strategies of cancer therapy, dialysis, and diagnostic imaging. Next slide, please. There. These are our current core categories. However, these 3 categories are subsets of a wider core medical equipment market that caters to other types of diseases. The 17 billion peso market is further supported by larger markets. So medical consumables and other medical equipment. If you, it will show there if you click there. Medical consumables and another one, medical equipment market there that caters to other types of diseases. Together, this make in total 77 billion pesos in the larger market. So what you see here is that there are a lot more markets within the industry that we can tap. And Medilines has made the first step by foraying into consumables, which is the pillar of our growth strategy. Moving forward, our long-standing relationships with our clients nationwide, our strategic partnerships with world-leading principals, our broad portfolio of equipment that addresses the most critical needs of patients, these are our strengths that we will leverage to execute these strategies. Under the direction of our founder led management team, with a robust sales and marketing capability and operational expertise, we believe that we can turn our strategies into value for our shareholders as we have done so for over a decade. So that ends my presentation. I hope that you now have a better appreciation of the value that we as distributors contribute to the Philippine healthcare industry. Thank you so much, China.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Miss Marge. Just for the benefit of the viewers, can you tell us what do you mean by medical consumables?
Medical consumables is yung mga ginagamit mo sa machine. So you have the whole equipment. But of course, madami kang ikakabit dyan, di ba? Bago mo siya talaga magamit. So when it comes, for example, to dialysis, you have the dialysis machine. But in order to be able to dialyze a person, kailangan mo siyang kabitan ng mga bloodlines. Kailangan meron kang ilalagay na dialyzer doon sa loob ng machine. Yung dialyzer is like the artificial lung that helps clean the blood kasi the reason why you're having yourself dialyzed is because yung artificial kidney pala, because your kidney is no longer working properly. That's why nagpapadialyze ka. So, yun yung dadaanan ng, sorry for, I hope it's not too gory or
Alright.
we have to be medical here. Yun yung daanan ng dugo mo. So may ikakabit dito na catheter sa'yo, may naka-connect yun sa tube. Basta ang dami yun, dadaan yung dugo mo doon, tapos lilinisin, tapos lahat ng yun, kan tawag doon, consumables, at least in the dialysis side of the business. So, a lot of consumables in the a lot of equipment in the medical industry have consumables. Yun yung ginagamit.
So, ito yung pinapalitan.
Yes, yun. Most
ulit
of the time, yung
pinapalitan.
consumables, hindi mo naman gustong gamitin yun ulit sa next patient kasi,
Yes.
diba? Diba? So, palit yun. Every time after the session, palit lahat yun. For dialysis sessions, for example, there are around 20 to 25 different consumables that you use just to
Alright.
be
Thanks,
able to have a
Pat.
session. Yeah.
I think
So, yun ang
I think kasi
consumables.
I think that one will make the audience think that marami nga naman pinapalit. It's not just the equipment. It comes with, a lot of parang ano yan parang yung syringe mo, yung tube ng sa oxygen, those are the things na pinapalitan. We will also call in the chairman, Sir Jojo, Mr. Villar, in the on screen, and Miss Monette, the internal auditor. Hi, Miss Monette. Hi, Sir Jojo.
Hi, good
You guys
afternoon.
unmute. So just unmute na lang natin. All right. So we
Hi,
are.
China.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Miss Monette.
Is that China or China?
It's China, sir. It's China.
China. Good afternoon,
So,
China.
sir,
Yeah.
Mr. Villar is here.
Yes.
If for those, sir,
Yeah.
for those who don't know, Sir Jojo is the chairman of Medilines. And merong mga tao nagtatanong, I think one of the things that they are curious about is Mr. Manny Villar invested also in Medilines? Parang, which is his kuya, by the way.
Si Kuya Manny. Yeah, barkada ko. kami na lang dalawa ang brothers na natitira. So, and in the brood of 9, kami dalawa lang ang same school. Kaya very close kami. Lagi kami nagiinuman sa coffee project. Libreng kape niya. Kanya yan eh. Kaya libre ang inuman namin ng kape. So, anyway, mutually exclusive ang mga businesses namin. And yesterday morning, nagtanong siya kung pwede raw siya mag-invest. No? Dahil alam mo naman yun na pag nakaamoy ng opportunity, mabilis pa sa 4:00 yun, di ba? So, sabi ko, Kuya, maawa ka naman. Baka pag umorder kayo, buong float ko na ang kunin mo. Kawawa naman yun. Maawa ka sa mga LSI, di ba? Tawag doon, small investors. No?
Local.
Local small investors. Well, very interested siya. Nag-signify siya ng interest. Nagsabi siya sa PNB. I leave it to PNB kung bibigyan siya ng allocation. Problema niya na yon.
Baka sumama
Yeah,
na siya, sir, sa roadshow.
No, napaka-small cap ko. Wala, small time ako doon. Kumpara sa
Serious
kanya.
naman si sir. Alright, so guys, see, the floor is now open
Yeah.
for questions. For those who are who would like to ask question in our panel today. Ayan, 'di ba? Sabi ko sa iyo, sir, may mga nagtatanong talaga
Ayun na nga.
that. So maraming may
Nag-invest po
curious.
ba?
So first question that we want to ask is, sige, magfa-flash sa screen. Tignan natin.
Yan.
And from Walian52, what is the rationale for moving into consumables? Isn't it, this is part where it has a lower margin? From Walian52. Thank you, William, for your question.
May I answer that yeah, so I can help Pat. Maliit ang margin sa equipment percentage wise, no? We're 17% nga ang average namin ngayon. It's pero pag kinompute mo yung yung absolute value, can you imagine one LINAC or linear accelerator is 180 million. So ang 17% niyan is ilan China?
Hindi po. I'm the host. I didn't bring the calculator.
Okay. So
Hindi ko alam, may recitation pala ako.
So ang laki ng margins niyan in absolute value, pero ang liit ng margins yan in terms of percentage, no? So we cannot leave equipment. We're not shifting to consumables. Hindi namin maiiwanan na equipment kasi makatatlong linear accelerator ka lang diyan. Covered na yung overhead mo eh. At least yung overhead namin, ano? But we are supplementing our sales with the consumables for so many reasons, no? Number one, nandun na yung machines. We know the users. We're very close to them. So why give the opportunity to sell the consumables to others? The customers are really asking us, you sell the consumables, you already sold the machines. Number two, it is not true na at least in our products and in our industry na maliit ang margin ng consumables. As presented by Pat, the margin of dialysis consumables, no, is 40 to 50%. And the market is huge. No? That's why we will complement or supplement our products, our machine sales with consumable sales. Together, that will be the future of Medilines.
Okay. Which is, I think, relative na kayo yung mag-produce or mag-distribute ng consumables because you will know best what will fit to the machine. Is that right?
We are the logical.
Yes,
we're the logical supplier. Kami na yung, we know them and komportable na sila sa amin. And we sell also B. Brown consumables for B. Brown dialysis machines. So it's logical.
Yung mga customer ngayon nagsasabi na, bakit machine lang yung ino-offer nyo sa amin? Dapat kayo na rin yung consumable kasi pareho rin naman yung kausap, di ba? So, for us, it's a logical next step for growth because we have already scattered so many machines all over the country, di ba? So, might as well add, parang top up by giving them the consumables also.
Yes.
Next question from Mike Lacson Maceda. Steady stream of income pag consumables based on equipment. Siya, nag-comment siya na.
Declarative yung kanya. He was helping us. Steady stream of income pag consumables. Ang machines kasi may month na wala kang benta.
Yes.
Zero, no? Yeah.
I agree, sir. Habang tinatanong mo sa akin yung 17%, actually yun naiisip ko, bakit it's the most logical. Doon ako sa logical side, hindi sa computation. From Aaron Rampe, given the usual long
Ginulat kita rin China. Ginulat kita rin. Okay.
Long payout of the government, have you encountered issues with clients being unable to pay their dues to the company?
Yeah, of course. Especially yung mga PhilHealth, ang main source of revenue ng private hospitals. May sales din kasi kami sa private hospitals. Pagka last 2 years, di sila nababayaran. So, nagkakaroon ng slowdown din ng bayad sa amin. Ano? Kami naman, we sell directly to government hospitals, Medilines, and LGUs. Mabagal lang sila magbayad, pero sigurado. Yun ang maganda sa government. They cannot float biddings nang hindi funded. It's against the law. Slow but sure ang motto namin sa collection sa government. Sa private, fast but not really sure nowadays, no? Except yung mga Asian hospitals, yung Metro Pacific Group, Medical City, yan, mga ano yan. Cebu Doctors, yan, mga reliable payers yan.
But just to clarify, Aaron, kasi nirelate ni Aaron yung government accounts dun sa unable to pay. Actually, hindi nga ganun eh. Pag government, mas sure kami na mas mababayaran kami kasi hindi sila pwedeng magpa-bid by law hanggat walang allocated and approved budget.
Yep.
Right? So that's why Mr. Villar was saying, sometimes mabagal lang, pero sure kami na may payment. Yung mga unable to pay or yung mga mahirap magbayad ngayon is really on the private. But this is the reason why Medilines, we're really big on the government ngayon kasi we make sure that they're able to pay.
Lalo na cash is king, di ba? So,
Yeah.
kailangan sure payment.
And then when it comes to private, we still sell to the private, but we're very careful. We're very careful. We have to make sure that they will also be able to pay us.
Right.
Thank you. Next question. Mukhang dumadami na ano na sila.
Nanganak na.
Maganda nga itong question ni Wency eh. Gusto ko to.
All right, from Wency G, thank you for your questions. Senator Manny was known to be Mr. Masipag at matyaga and rose to fame through hard work. How do you describe your personality naman po, Sir Jojo? As Villar.
Sipag at tiyaga siya. Ako, tiyaga at sipag. Pareho din. Parehong magkapatid. Pareho rin. Parehong taga-payups.
And humor, sir.
Survivor. Tsaka mas low profile ako. Ayoko ng mga katulad niya na nasa television lagi. Tsaka sa, yeah.
Nasa TV ka na ngayon.
Ganun ba yan? So, yeah. Pareho kami mahirap kasi kami nun. So, we were taught to survive. Eksakto yung pinuntahan naming school na ito lang resources mo, you must learn how to survive. Irrespective of the course, survival lang naman ang tinuro ng UP kahit kaninong nag-graduate doon eh. So, yun, pareho kami. Mas napilitan kami maging masipag tsaka matyaga. Wala pera nun eh. Ganun kasimple.
Napaka-humble naman ni Sir Jojo.
Ayun eh. Pero mas madalas akong laking ahente kasi ako kaya mas madalas akong makibarkada sa basketball court ng bata habang siya nagbabasa ng Time Magazine sa kwarto niya. Yung ganun.
Sir, kala ko pugad baboy yung binabasa.
Hindi.
So, for another question, this is also interesting because we know that during the pandemic, the star of the show in terms of income is the hospital industry. So the question of Walien again also is asking what have been the challenges for Medilines naman during the pandemic?
I'll answer this one. Actually, yung Medilines, proud kami that we were able to help the country address the COVID-19. Kasi yung mga produkto namin, to begin with, without the pandemic, yung mga produkto namin, hinahanap talaga siya sa hospitals. Kasi hindi mo siguro ma-imagine yung isang hospital na walang CT scan, walang x-ray. Paano ka madadiagnose? Or paano malalaman kung nag-work yung treatment sa'yo if hindi sa scan yung loob ng body mo, diba? So, even before the pandemic, hinahanap talaga yan. Dialysis is a booming industry. Nakikita yan ng mga kababayan natin na parang everywhere na lang, merong mga dialysis centers na nag-boom. So, hinahanap din talaga
small ones. I see that. Yung mga
dialysis machines, diba? And even yung mga dialysis centers sa loob ng hospital, they're expanding. So, even before the pandemic to, when COVID-19 hit, kailangan ulit yung mga produktong to. 'Di ba? Yung CT scan, yung X-ray, kasi nga sila yung nagche-check kung gaano nakalala yung apekto ng COVID sa lungs, and not just the lungs, but it also complicates other parts of the body, 'di ba? So you use CT scan and X-ray for that. And then just so happens also that 30 to 50% of people hospitalized for COVID-19 develop kidney injuries, kidney diseases, which is why they mandated na bawat ICU meron ding dialysis machine. Kasi hindi naman pwede na yung COVID patient lalabas pa, pupunta sa dialysis center para magpa-dialyze doon, edi hinawaan na niya yung ibang mga nagpapa-dialyze din, 'di ba? So, that's the reason why busy rin kami nung during the pandemic. We were able to um, to s- to deliver 126 dialysis machines, 63 portable osmosis machines, several CT scans and X-rays. So proud kami na we were able to be at the forefront of the country's response for
Yeah.
COVID-19 pandemic. Once this pandemic is over, tuloy-tuloy din kami sa normal business namin kasi as mentioned, nahanap naman talaga yung mga equipment namin sa hospital. And lalong-lalo na tumataas yung mga incidences ng kidney diseases, tumataas ang incidences ng cancer here in the Philippines. So, hahanap-hanapin din talaga siya. Yung naging challenge lang siguro is during the first semester, yung hindi pa, parang iba-iba pa yung mga policies ng iba-ibang province, ang daming mga naka-skeletal workforce, work from home, ganyan. Medyo na-disturb lang kami ng konti kasi kunyari, may i-deliver kaming machine sa Bicol. Tapos, maghahanap pala ng RT-PCR. Kailangan pala mag 2-week quarantine bago ka makapunta sa hospital. Meron mga ganong challenges.
Yeah.
But once na na-iron out na lahat yon, okay na ulit kami. So, mag-end naman kami with growth pa rin versus last year.
Yeah.
Maski na meron kaming mga hiccups during the first few months.
Almost everyone may logistical
Yeah.
challenges ng pandemic. Yeah, bonus sa amin yung not that we're looking for the pandemic, pero nagkataon lang na ang products namin are also being used as a response to COVID-19. So, na-maintain namin ang growth namin because of that. Let me tell you something, hindi lahat ng medical nag-improve ang sales o situation ng COVID-19 pandemic. Yung mga medical companies na ang products nila ay walang relasyon sa COVID-19, nagbagsakan din ang mga benta nila. There is some reasons why some hospitals, the small hospitals, nag-close down. Kasi nung pandemic, ayaw magpagamot ng mga tao, ayaw magpa-check up, baka mahawa, di ba, natatakot. So, bumaba rin yung consumption ng mga gamot except yung vitamins. So, nagkataon lang ito pwede sa COVID, ito hindi pwede sa COVID. Kami, na-maintain namin ang growth namin. But sabi nga ni Pat, even without the pandemic, we did not, we are not in Medilines, we did not establish this company for the pandemic. Di pa namin alam yung pandemic nung 2002 nang inumpisahan, di ba? Kataon lang na nung nagka-pandemic, pwede yung produkto namin. Kaya, thanks God. We're helping the people and we're helping the company.
Thank you, sir. May Koreano na nagtatanong, sir. Hindi ko alam kung mababasa mo yung pangalan niya. Ayan, are the
Tawagin ko lang misis ko, China, magbagdamag sa sa Korean drama. Oh.
Actually, that's our client. Leo, are the products of the company imported or local brand? If it's local, what is the competitive advantage of the company's products when it comes to imported products that are marketed, especially German products, which is known for their quality?
100%. Most of the practically close to 100% ng medical products of the Philippines are imported. To answer his first question, no? So all our products are imported. The second question, if it is local, no, it is imported. Next, what is the competitive advantage of the company's products? when it comes to imported that are marketed. No, no, no. I cannot answer that kasi imported kami.
All
No,
right.
But
So
what we
you're
we're
can
not
not
say
local.
imported.
siguro about our
Yeah.
principals is that
Mm.
they are leading manufacturers in their categories. So
Yeah.
we are confident that they will deliver quality results. And also, because these are top brands, hinahanap sila ng doctor. So, kumbaga, for example, in the Philippines, if you say dialysis machines, it's
P.
just
Brown.
B. Brown and another big brand. And then the
Fresenius.
rest, ayun, sinabi na ni Mr. Villar. And then the rest are just smaller
Yeah.
na in terms of market share. So we are
Mm.
confident na okay
Yeah.
sila. Talagang okay.
P. Brown and Fresenius together, pareho German, they're 90% of the market.
Next question
Yeah.
is from James Reid. May artista pa, sir. Sir Jojo Villar, why are you selling 275M of your shares in Medic? Is
Good.
that right po?
Yeah, it's right. Some people think it's wrong. I think it's right. Some people think it's right beside me, no? We think it's right because specifically for this IPO, it's a very small float, no? Compared to all day, mga dumaan keepers, synergy, okay, those big, no? It's a very small float. We're raising only less 2 billion, not even approaching 2 billion pesos, no? So we would like to inject liquidity. So much so that if you want to sell, there will always be a buyer. If you want to buy, there will always be a seller. No? That's the first reason. Number two, uh, giants like, if I may use Tesla and Amazon, ano, sila Elon Musk. Elon Musk owns only how many? Elon Musk owns only 10% of his company, and the other one owns 17% only of his company. And the reason why they sold to institutions is because these institutions are the ones helping them raise money in the future and introduce them to new possibilities for their companies. No? The third reason is when we did our planning for our 5-year planning, counting the interest in savings which we will get by repaying our loans, that's one. And number two, we have a big account receivables in our balance sheet now, which we will collect. And third, the infusion of these funds from the IPO. We want to be, what's the adjective there? We want to be
Prudent.
prudent. We want to be prudent. No, we do not want to get more than what we can chew. We want to what we can digest. No, we want to be productive for every single peso that will come in. We don't think we need more than 1.2 billion pesos, which is the primary offer proceeds, no? Thereabouts. Kasi meron pa kaming savings on interest, meron pa kaming mga receivables, tsaka yung IPO proceeds. We want to do this prudently and sustainably and slow but sure. That's our belief. That's my belief, no? Some people will say it's bad. We feel it's good. Elon Musk feel it's good. Si Amazon, si Tesla, they have been selling their shares. Nasa 10 na nga lang sila eh. And 10 and 17.
I
Yeah.
think that is a really good
Yep.
strategy.
Meron
Next is
nangangaroling ah. Yeah.
All right. Next is I think for the benefit of Hanjo Min, it is the PSE is actually obliging the directors and the those on position to declare if they're buying or selling
Yeah.
the shares. So mandated
Yeah.
yan by the
Yeah.
SRC ruling.
And
Yeah.
then we
So
have a
next question.
lockout. We have a lockout
Yes.
China, no, for
Yeah,
6
the
months.
lockout until
Uh,
um
6 months.
6 months. Ayan. From
Ito na pala
Ezra.
yung, sorry, ito na pala yung figures ko. Elon
All
Musk
right.
is owns only 17% of Tesla. Jeff Bezos owns only 10% na lang.
Yes.
No? Pinapartner nila institutions to help them mold and get a big future for the company. At the end of my IPO, I still own 70%. No? Ang laki pa rin.
Yan. So
Okay na.
yan, ngayon clear na. At least it's not the elephant in the room. From John Darren D. Were you able to research or study the unserved market for these machines years from now, considering these are not purchased on a recurring basis? Also, did Mr. Chair establish a
Ano naman?
stabilizer fund?
Yeah, yung una muna, unserved market for these machines, considering that they are, yeah, they,
Pangmatagalan kasi, di ba, sir? Oo.
oo nga, oo. Honestly speaking, durability ng mga products na to, no, parang kotse yan, eh. They can last up to 10 years or more,
Mhm.
no? But just like our cell phones, we change it every year almost, ano? Kasi may bagong technology lagi,
Technology.
may mga software, mas magandang camera, and may mga bagong advancements. And then, yeah, nag-change yung mga doctors na yan ng, ano. I give you an example in X-rays. Before, analog ang mga X-rays, no? Ngayon, mag-analog ka, pagtatawanan ka, no? Yung mo, i-develop pa, gano'n, di ba? Wala, digital na ngayon. So, so they have to change. Nagiging obsolescent din kasi ang machines. And number two, because of the increase in population, dumadami pasyente. So, suddenly, one CT scan is not enough. So, they're talking of buying a second CT scan. Suddenly, they need portable X-rays for every floor. Suddenly, there are more dialysis patients. So, yung mga centers with 10 machines, umu-order uli ng 10 machines uli, no? And for linear accelerators, merong norm na in the first world na you should have one linear accelerator for every 1 million population. So, for the Philippines, we should have 110 million people tayo, so we should have 110 linear accelerators. But that's first world. Let's say we can afford in only 60. Ang linear accelerators right now is only 31. There's a very big room for more linear accelerators. Marami pa tayong kailangan. The market is still big. And sasamahan pa namin ng consumables, which is a very big market compared to the machines. No? Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
The
To
future is
add lang
bright.
siguro, may mga programs din naman in place that help us see yung mga specific na kakailanganin in the near future. Syempre not in the far future. So meron dyan, for example, yung HFEP, which is the Health Facilities Enhancement Program of our government. And nilalatag nila dun yung plano nila for modernizing and our medical equipment and also of expanding our facilities. So nakikita namin doon. There are also other programs like the National Integrated Cancer Control Act na balak nila is to have 24 regional centers for cancer dun sa mga probinsya, 'di ba? Aside from a main national cancer center here in Manila. So meron mga ganong programs aside from everything that Mr. Villar mentioned.
Yep.
Okay. So, ayan. I hope, John, we answered your question. Next question, please. Sir, meron...
Stabilizer daw.
Ezra Tragura, may free po bang losartan pag nag-subscribe?
Wala siguro.
Ayan, nakikijoke tuloy yung audience.
Dolphinal. Pwede, Dolphinal.
Dolphinal.
Alam mo, pasensya na kasi hapon, right after lunch, so para mawala antok natin.
From Alex, a comment from the audience, buy ako dyan. I think this is the first healthcare supply industry in the Philippines. First is the best.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Alex.
May brand ambassador na kayo. Next.
Bigyan ng jacket.
Sir, from Aaron, posible po ba kunin nyo rin ang mga competitors na mga kalaban nila, Bibron?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
We are a distributor. We can change the products that we distribute. Much the same way as the principals can change the distributors. Yan ang maganda sa amin. Pagka hindi na maganda yung market share o yung popularity nung isang principal, we can shift to do sa bagong market leader. No? Yeah, we're flexible. Before Siemens, galing kami sa Philips. Okay.
At least walang exclusivity para may broad or may flexibility in terms of brand.
Yeah. Kung anong sikat, punta kami dun.
From Mike Lacson Maceda again, what medical field would you plan to venture in next aside from dialysis, LINAC, and imaging?
As
Yeah, Pat, sige.
As Mr. Villar's mentioned, hindi kami nagko-close ng doors miski na sa kalaban, di ba? Nag-attend nga kami ng mga medical congresses, yung mga conventions, just to be able to know ano na ba yung mga bagong brands dyan, bagong machines, kasi na may bagong technology, mga ganyan. So, that's like our, paano ba, shopping namin or research. Every now and then may tumatawag, gusto magpa-distribute, may nag-email din sa amin. And we always open our doors. So, dun sa tanong mo, syempre we can't promise, but we do have in mind some other products that we may be able to carry. Pero syempre meron dyang mga mga criteria kami na kailangan na matupad, 'di ba? Parang ano lang 'yan, marriage lang 'yan, 'di ba? Meron kang criteria para sa partner mo na na dapat win-win kayo.
Gaya
dapat
ng
dapat sa amin, dapat kumikita ng
Sino?
maayos, maganda yung pagsasamahan, 'di ba? Nagtutulungan. 'Yan. Kaya
Ayan.
Yeah.
kaya yung partners
Pero,
namin ngayon, years na kaming partners niyan eh. Yung B Brown since
yeah.
2002, so magto 20 years na. And then si Siemens, mga pangatlong balik na kami ng renewal ng
tatlong
contract
renewals na, yeah.
since
Harmonious
2016.
relationship, yeah. Importante both ways. They profit from us and we reciprocate, no?
Yeah.
We help them improve their market share.
Thank you, sir. Next question is from Bino Nodado. Will you give dividends every year? If there
Yes,
is, what is the estimated yield? If you
we have a policy. We created a policy. Nasa prospectus yan. We will provide 10 to 30% of the prior year's net income after taxes. That will be reserved for dividends.
Yan. So it's also a dividend play.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's most of the questions have already been addressed. Sir Jojo or Mr.
Yes,
Villar, if you want to impart any words that you want to impart, for those who don't know, Pat is daughter of Mr. Villar. Yan. So
Yeah,
father and daughter
Hindi ba
tandem din
halata
po.
sa features ko?
Sipat
Sa
ang aking,
humor?
sipat ang
So
aking CEO ko, sipat sa child of honor ko yan. Child of honor. Yeah.
So what do you want to impart to our viewers and to those who
Yeah.
subscribe?
Well, number one, sabi nga ng PNB, this is the first healthcare the first pure play healthcare sa ating stock market, ano. So I hope you will patronize it. I would like to give an example sa New York, sa Wall Street. Ang number one investments ng mga Wall Streeters nasa industry of technology. Okay, yung faang na tinatawag nila, Facebook, Amazon. Ano yung isang A pa, China?
Ayun naman tayo sa recitation.
Facebook, Amazon,
Google?
Google yung
Netflix?
G. Yung N, Netflix. Yung isang A, sige kayo. Anyway, ang number two industry sa Wall Street is health. It's health, no? Nagtataka ako sa Philippines, wala pang health sa ating stock market, ano. And we are happy and glad na we will show the way. Marami pa kami sa industry.
Alibaba.
Alibaba.
Eh,
Hindi,
kinopya mo
China
lang yung
yun.
kay She eh.
Ayan, very good. Sorry,
Yeah.
sir. Ducati.
Alphabet. Facebook,
Okay,
Amazon,
Ayun.
Alphabet, Netflix, Google.
Si
So,
Wally.
as I was saying, number one sa investment sa Amerika, yung technology. Number two, yung healthcare, yung health, no? Health is a very big industry, and we're glad to open the doors to our colleagues sa industry. Malaking medical industry. It's not only the suppliers of the equipment. Meron pa suppliers ng pharmaceuticals, may suppliers ng supplies, mayroon pang the hospitals itself, mayroong HMOs, no? It's a very huge industry, and we're glad that we will be able to start the ball rolling sa participation sa capital markets, no? Ang masasabi ko lang in relation to our IPO is not only are you may social component kasi ito eh. You just don't buy a stock na no, this it will there will come a time and we hope not maaga na we will need this eh, no? 'Di ba? So we need to support modernizing and making this the hospitals and making the equipment available, no? On the investment side, yung kwento ko nga sa kuya ko, pag nakaamoy ng opportunity yun, mabilis pa sa alas 4 yun. May track record naman siguro yun na, ano, no, na maka-identify what is a good investment. Ano. I really think it's a good investment. So far, maganda yung nakita namin sa book building. Napakaganda na reception. What I don't know kung malilimit up ko to tulad ni all day. I don't know. Mas magagaling sila. Let's hope. Kasi magki-Christmas eh. So, let's hope, no? Good luck to all of us. And thank you very much doon sa susuporta
Thank
sa stock
you.
namin. Thank you.
Thank you also to Miss Margie, Miss Monette, who's also on the side too, if ever na may questions. Pat, thank you so much
Thank you.
for being with us today. I think the viewers have been, educated with
Yeah.
the medical equipment that the Philippines needs, and ang laki pala ng market that
Laki.
na iki-cater pa. And there you have it. And I hope that everyone has been ayan ako. Wait lang ha. I'm sorry, sorry. I hope that everyone has been well versed and would know if we are still. I think this is still offered in LSI. So for those who, if you have decided that this is a buy for you, you can go ahead and and do not wait before the last day of the offer period. And this is it. And this is China. And this is my trade. And for today, you got winked by Medilines. For that, good afternoon. And you stay safe. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank
Thank
you very much.
you.